You cannot expect me to come back after doing 9 to 5 with the whole, after doing all the numbers during the day. You're tired. You want to now take up cleaning. How do you want to be able to do other things like read a book? I learned something from you some years back. You told us, well, I think that was when we were seeing Park. You don't have necessarily have to do everything by yourself. That money that you are working for it to stay healthy. You are working for that money to stay alive. If anything happens tomorrow, that money will get spent recklessly. For me, what I do is sometimes I link up with my parents late evening because he has to see what I.
Wait. If you look up your prayer late evening, which means your 9 to 5 is not that straight.
No, but why?
Is that that?
No. You can't. It is stressful. It's stressful.
Let me tell you intentional, but let me tell you one thing. If your 9 to 5 is stressful, my dear brother, after 5, you'll be thinking of getting home and sleep.
My own generation.
What I'm saying is that
when you go anytime.
We are professional. I won't mention industry, but some industry we know that they close 10 p.m. They close officially 5 p.m. but they leave office 10 p.m. So you know the industry I'm talking about.
We're not talking about marriage here, but I looked at a lot of marriage and I can say that that's even one of the fear of my generation. You see people get married 2 years and they're already there. But actually, you did not love yourself before you come married. But communication and intentionality is some of the things that I'm missing too. I was doing 9 to 5. My photography was booming. I was lecturing American. I was a leader in church. I asked myself one question. I said, "Super para me. Do you want to kill yourself?"
Hello, welcome to Samuel Ajala podcast. My name is Samuel Ajala, your host. I would like to appreciate you for your view over the period, for your likes, for your comments, and for how far you have subscribed. We appreciate you, but we want to encourage you to do more. We want you to subscribe more, to share more, tell a friend. Thank you very much. And today we're talking about a peculiar topic that affects both young and old, because I believe that this topic deals majorly with time management, deals with efficiency, deals with effectiveness. How can we achieve our goal timely? So the topic is just how to manage your 5 to 9 after 9 to 5. Let me say it again. How to manage your 5 to 9 after 9 to 5. And I have a friend and a colleague here whom we'll be discussing this topic together. He's a 9 to 5 person, and his name is Luwa Nicholas.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes.
The friend and the brother. And we're talking about how to maximize your 5 to 9 after 9 to 5. So, Nicholas, I know you have been a 9 to 5 person for some time now. What are the challenges? What are those things you think affect you when you move from being a student to a corporate world, which happens to be you having your time anyhow? You may attend lecture, you may not attend lecture, but now you have a full responsibility to go to work and stay in the place between 9 to 5. So how does that affect you?
Okay, first of all, I'll say thank you so much for having me on the Samuel Ajala podcast. This is a wonderful experience on my own end. Okay, so straight into the business of the day. So moving from being a student to corporate life, I will tell you, is two different worlds. Where you have luxury of time and you can spend it the way you like, to where I call it you are being restricted. So it's two different worlds, and I can tell you that it's two different experiences. So for moving into the corporate setting, it's been a different ballgame. Now you have a responsibility. You are being paid for a reason, and you need to deliver what you are being paid for. So within that time, you need to deliver value for the consideration you are getting at the end of every month.
Okay. Thank you. You are, let me say, you are kind of restricted and you have a responsibility that you are being paid for. That's quite fine. But what we're talking about now is how has that your 9 to 5 affect your 5 to 9? And when I mean 5 to 9, I don't restrict it to 5 to 9 after work. I restrict it to how you maximize your time after you have maximized your 9 to 5. You know, your 9 to 5 now, whether you like it or not, you have to maximize it because someone is paying for it. Now the rest of it, after which nobody paid for, nobody restricts you. How do you manage this?
So I believe talking about 5 to 9 after 9 to 5 is saying how do you handle other activities outside your regular 9 to 5 work?
Yes.
I'll use myself as a perfect example. When I first came into the corporate setting, because that was what I understood, every other thing has to go away for that. You carry the work over and you are even doing the work even past, and you are waking up the next morning, you're tired, you are continuing from where you stop. So it's more like a routine life. It's a routine life. So if care is not taken, a whole lot of things will go. You'll probably not be eating well. That you'll be living on cheap fuel. Maybe be ordering food, or there's this particular booker that you just, when you're just coming back from work, you just stop by and they already know you there, regular customer. You pick up the food. They even sell it for you before you get back. You are coming already, hand it over to you. So living on cheap fuel, not eating healthy. You don't have time for family. You don't have time for hobbies. You don't have time for even for people that they have entrepreneurship spirit. You don't have time for that. It's just based on that 9 to 5, and you come back to tell yourself you are busy every time. You even to go out, you can't go out with your friend because you tell them, oh, I'm busy. Work is making me very busy. So it was. I think at the first 2 years, it was a very difficult experience.
Let me say this, that's where time management comes in. Now, you talk about not having time for family. Sarcastically, I would say you don't have a family yet, you're a bachelor.
I have immediate family.
We are hoping that you join the marriage league very soon, and God will lead.
Amen.
So I believe that your 5 to 9 starts from your 9 to 5. And what I mean by that is that you start planning, deliberately plan for what you will do after work. Let me say a few years ago, before now, I decided that when I get home from work, my first 30 minutes is for my family. I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to play with my baby, spend time with my baby first, then move on to the next thing. Now it's deliberate. I was in a gathering not quite long, and I was talking to some professionals, and our discussion, one of them just told me that, Mr. Sam, if that I'm not married, I'm finding it difficult to further my education because of the work I'm doing, because the work takes time. It goes beyond 9 to 5. Now I want to enroll for different professional exams, and I'm finding it difficult to do it. How much more those who are married, those who have more responsibility? Now it now boils down to how much you are willing to sacrifice to achieve your goal. Someone said something that the value of something is the life you are willing to sacrifice for it. So if that thing is actually valuable, you will sacrifice more for it. So looking around your own work ethics, because I believe that you have a lot of people who are within your age range who are just entering into the 9 to 5, and there's some people who even say that they would not have opted for 9 to 5 in Lagos. It's another ball game if you are in Lagos and if you are outside Lagos.
Yeah, in Ibadan.
So if we are in Lagos now, what do you think you can do more to maximize your 5 to 9 and your weekends?
Okay. So, looking at what can be done, I'll give different scenarios. So, one of the things I believe in is that you have to delegate. You have to outsource. See, the honest truth is, yes, we are young, you are making money, and oh, you want to save money. Believe me, you need to outsource some things. See, because you need that time, because you want to maximize that 5 to 9, you outsource some things. Like, I had to scrap out a lot of things like, okay, how much is it going to take me to actually get my house clean? Let me budget this in my salary. How much is it going to take me? Because you cannot expect me to come back after doing 9 to 5 with the whole, after doing all the numbers during the day. You're tired. You want to now take up cleaning. How do you want to be able to do other things like read a book? I learned something from you some years back. You told us, well, I think that was when we were still in icon class. You said the book you are currently reading is on your bed, and you might just take it up in the morning and read part of it, and read it and gradually. So I cultivated that habit. And another thing I do is, just like you said, planning ahead. I have a to-do list. When I'm starting my week on a Sunday night, I already have a to-do list. I start to write calls. I strategize up to calls. People I need to call that week. I write calls. I write activities I want to do. When I started running a business, it was easy. When my photography business came up and it started trending and I started getting a lot of clients, it was easy. One of the things I told my clients were that I can't shoot between 9 to 5. I had to employ people. Just like I said, employ a cleaner. You don't necessarily have to do everything by yourself. That money that you are working for it to stay healthy. You are working for that money to stay alive. If anything happens tomorrow, that money will be spent recklessly. So, maximizing your 5 to 9 is saying that I want to be able to do a lot of things between that period.
I will agree with you on one thing, which I believe that if we look at it from different perspectives again,
okay.
Some people will say that you will spend more. That's delegation.
Okay.
I learned the act of delegation to a long period of time. And I delegate activities that I know are not called to me, because the time I am supposed to use for that activities, I will use to make money. So out of the money I'm going to make, I must be willing to pay someone to do that thing for me,
okay,
that I'm subjecting to. You understand? So, but if you had to look at it before, is that not, it is not part of what we are discussing, but I just want to keep it in. Is that not what is affecting, let me say, the Gen Z growth personally? We tend to incur more cost in this generation than our parents did, just to get comfort. And at the end of the day, we discovered that some of the things some of our generation are struggling to achieve at our age, our parents had already achieved it in that when they were within our age. When I mean our parents are earning equivalent of what we are earning now back then. Because some of these things we are trying to pay for to get comfort, they don't pay for it. They don't even look for so much comfort that we are looking for. Recently, I was talking to someone who happens to be a student, and I was like, and she was like, Mr. Sam, I think I started the discussion, and I was just listing some of the things that you need to do with your money when you get married. You need to subscribe. So many people now use smart TV. We don't even take this one serious. You need to subscribe at home. You need to subscribe on your phone. That's time. You need to buy utilities. When I mean utilities in terms of electricity per unit. Most of us cannot take sachet water. You buy Seaway or you buy bottled water. average those costs on monthly basis. You understand? Which other cost did we even identify? Like the cost you're talking about now, cleaning. Someone is still coming to clean your house, but back then it wasn't like this. They were doing those chores by themselves. Let's even forget about the smart TV and the internet is out of their own generation and parents. When I was growing up, it wasn't like that. But everybody has to go to. Now, back then, they don't know about these things. Yet they achieve. Academically, they were able to further their education. And I won't say they have time for their children too, because most parents they just go. So they sacrifice family. And
one thing must go.
One thing must go. One thing must go. Just like recently, we were talking about. I posted something on my status, and it was first stove. You have your family. I don't know if you saw it on my status. Your family, your friend, your ex, and your work. Which one do you fuel most? So if you're talking about your 9 to 5, it's one of the stove. One of the stove is just the work that we are talking about now. Abi?
Yes.
The remaining 3 stove that needs to be fuel. What we need to fuel, 5 to that. That's your family, your friend, and your ex. Do you have time for friend?
So, for someone like me that has a lot of friends, a lot of people in my circle, it's easy for me because we could. I don't know. Like you said, that generation has gone. The currency they were spending there is not what we are spending now.
Okay.
So there is a bit of difference to what they were doing there and what is happening now. But then, for me, what I do is sometimes I link up with my friends late evening because it has to be. See what I.
No, wait. If you look up to your friend late evening, which means your 9 to 5 is not that stressful.
No, why?
It's not that stressful. No, let's be honest.
No. It is stressful.
It is
stressful.
See, let me tell you
but
something.
I can be honest with you that this thing of 5 to 9 comes with intentionality.
It comes with intentionality, but let me tell you one thing. If your 9 to 5 is stressful, my dear brother, after 5, you'll be thinking of getting home and sleep.
So how many hours do we need to sleep?
You're not so tired. We wake up in the midnight and start.
So Mr. Sam, I don't know. I will say this, that this depends on different people. Different people with the way they paddle their canoe. For me, there was something I used to do, I think around 2020, early 2025. My colleagues, they noticed that by 8 a.m., they noticed that they would just get mails from me. Those work are something I'm supposed to do. Those reports are something I'm supposed to prepare Monday morning. But I looked at it and I said, I don't want my Monday morning to be choked. And I intentionally, when I come back from church on Sunday, I rest a bit because that Sunday afternoon nap is compulsory. I don't joke with it. I take that nap. After that nap, late evening on Sunday, I start preparing those reports. Sometimes I might be sluggish.
When do you now have a time to meet with your friend?
That's why I said that. I don't know, but you are looking at it from your generation perspective.
No, I'm not looking at
my own generation.
What I'm saying is that when do you have time to pick
Friday evening?
Wait now. Some of these your friend, I know some of them too. We are professional. I won't mention industry, but some industry we know that they close 10 p.m. They close officially 5 p.m. but they leave office 10 p.m. So you know the industry I'm talking about.
So that's good. We don't want to mention that industry. Sometimes myself, even when I'm working remotely, I'm on the call. I'm on the Teams call till 10 p.m. So, Mr. Sam, like I said, for your generation, it might feel awkward, but for us, he's intentionally coming out to say, okay, you know what? Regardless of everything, let's chill. Let's come out and chill. And so we can just link up at 11
p.m.
Yes, 11 p.m. We can time ourselves 30 minutes, 45 minutes. We just about different things. Talk about what is going on around the country.
After this session, I would like to know some of your friends around love here. I'm interested in your. So see, that's family. That's friend, rather. Yeah. That's fine. Now the family of a thing, you may not talk much about the family because I believe and I know that
I'm single.
you are single.
Yeah, my hands are clean.
But let me tell you, let me tell you, once you cross over, you just have to be intentional as well. And I pray that you have an understanding spouse that we understand you, that both of you will understand each other.
Amen. That's a very big
because family is the most easiest aspect to ignore. You know, it comes subconsciously. They just understand the fact that
you're busy.
Not only busy, if you're not doing it, the comfort at home will reduce. Even if your spouse is a professional and she's working full time, she believes that if you work more, they can go for vacation in Kenya, they can go for vacation in UK, they can go for vacation in Canada, they can go for vacation in Paris. So the intentionality of you ignoring them and them not complaining because they know the benefit that will comes in is easy. And you know that sometimes when you are growing, even if you have the money to go for vacation in those countries I've mentioned, the both of you will still look around and say, okay, we still want to use our money to invest in one or two things, capital project and the likes. And if you are the one that comes from a humble beginning and you just wake up after 2 years of marriage, you tell your parents that we are going to Paris today to go and enjoy 1 month with my wife. You know, your parents will just look at each other and say, Shoti Riley, Silicon, have you bought a land? Have you guys started building? How many things do you have you achieved? You want to go and spend a whole lot of money on? You know, at the end of the day, that bonding will not be there.
Okay, so Mr. Sam, I kept something in my archive. That I will use when I get married. And it was the fact that one of the things, like you said, is easy to ignore. But one of the things I kept in my archive was the fact that when my pastor said something, he said every Monday, he and his family, they go to the beach Monday morning. I can say that based on his profession, so based on what he does, he's able to do that. But I'm coming back to using that example for my fellow 9 to 5 people. So he said intentionally when they go on Monday morning, they're able to do a recap on what they've done. And I think one of the basic things I feel like, because I looked at, we're not talking about marriage here, but I looked at a lot of marriage, and I can say that that's even one of the fear of my generation. You see people get married 2 years and they're already there. But actually, you did not love yourself before you got married. But communication and intentionality is some of the things that are missing. So like I said, what I kept in my archive is the fact that I see some of my uncles that wanted to be very intentional. What they do is maybe once or twice in a month, they go for lunch, family lunch. They go to the cinema. These are cost friendly. They go to the cinema intentionally, or a new development is maybe on a weekend they take a walk, which might just be 30 minutes. During that walk, your partner can have it. So, like you said, that intentionality is one thing that I feel like my generation will need to put in place. Something must go for something. I can give a scenario. There was a time when I was doing 9 to 5, as my photography was booming. I was lecturing ICANN. I was a leader in church. I asked myself one question. I said, Shofe Parani, do you want to kill yourself? So what I first did was I looked at it. Is there a replacement for myself in this ICANN tutorial center? Do they have a perfect replacement for me? Yes, I gave them a notice ahead of the next day. I'm going to be resigning. So this is my last day. Please, if there's no replacement, please try to get a replacement ahead of time, because I need my Saturday morning and Sunday afternoon back to myself so that I can rest, because health is also wealth. So, Mr. Sam, like you said, intentionality for 5 to 9 is key.
Okay, I think I'll buy into one thing you have said, which is very, very intentionality. So, going out twice a month And I was also talking to someone. You don't need to travel out before you can have a nice hangout together with your family.
Of course.
You understand? It might be a cinema, it might be a restaurant, it might be just you cancelling dinner at home spontaneously sometimes. I just call each other and say, okay, today we are not going to stress ourselves, or just bring something home. We make our sitting room a cinema. We just eat and chill. You understand?
As simple as
So
that.
I think that's fine if we can be doing that, and that's still boil down to the fact that you are not working in a toxic environment. Your 9 to 5 is not in a toxic environment. Because if you are working in a toxic environment, believe you, your 5 to 9 with someone.
So, Mr. Sam, I want to be brutal. I want to be brutal, yeah, and I'm not saying that is something that we should go and inculcate, but I will be very brutal with this decision. The honest truth is, if you break down, the organization will continue.
That one is it's not being brutal. It is reality.
I'm going somewhere.
It's reality.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
So please, in all honesty, in all sincerity, what I will do once is not that every time you are off once it's 5 p.m. Yes, there are times that like I know my very busy period is usually the first 10 days of a new month. Those are my busy period at work. So I already know that, okay, during this period I communicate, this is it. I might not be out so much, I might cut down on a lot of extra things I can do. Know your busy period. But outside that 10 days, after those reports are checked, I would not do anything outside. Max I will do is maybe 6 p.m. except if it's something that is urgent. So you need to be brutal, because even you yourself, you want to progress personally.
Nicholas, let me tell you that you can achieve that when you just join an organization. By the time you get to the management level,
yeah, it's different.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, of course,
it doesn't work that way.
Yes.
You can't just sit yourself and say, okay, if you have a work to do by 6 p.m., you won't do it. No. So I want to take our viewers' time, and I believe we have communicated and we have shared a lot of information. But to summarize it in summary, let me just say this, that I mentioned the first tool that we need to follow. The first tool we need to follow is family. The second one is health. The third one is friend. And the fourth one is work, your profession. These are the four. But let me tell you, your work sometimes or most times determine how you treat the other three.
True.
Because the 9 to 5 we are talking about is your work. The 5 to 9 you have to share among the other three. You have to share among your family, you have to share among your friends, you have to share with your parents. But the priority and the most important is your health. Because your health determines your work, determines your relationship with family, determines your relationship with friends. So please, we are advising everyone that let's take care of ourselves. Let's make sure that we plan our 5 to 9 from our 9 to 5. And let's make sure that we assign time for everything. Prioritize your family in all. Because it's kind of funny, but it's not funny. After 5 years of retirement, who are you going to beat? The family. If you ignore them, they won't be there for you. We have had series of stories concerning people who are very healthy, strong for 35 years. After 35 years, they couldn't maintain the same energy for 5 years because no companionship, no relationship. I don't know if you have any last words.
So I think my last word would be that strike a balance. Strike a balance between your work life, your career, your business, and your personal life. Strike a balance. Prioritize your health, just like Mr. Sam said. Prioritize your health, prioritize family, prioritize friends, and as much as possible, try to create an hobby. Try to, from out of no time. We can get busy at doing nothing sometimes, and we can get busy at doing a lot of things. But out of no time, create time to do an exercise, maybe once a week or twice a week. Eat healthy, because at the end of the day, if the body is still...
That's very, very important. Spend your money on food. Eat well.
Eat well.
Eat well. It's very, very important.
Thank you.
You get why?
You get why?
Thank you very much. We really appreciate you. God bless you all. Click that subscription button, comment and like. Goodbye.